Welcome to the Temple of Flame. On today, faithful acolytes, we take a look at these. And what these are from Smokin. From Smokin. So I don't know if this is the, are these pucker butt sauces or no? I'm not entirely sure. I don't know that the, so if we look here, so I don't see pucker butt here anywhere. It just talks about Smokin. And then this does not point at all to pucker butt. It goes to smokined.co. If you try to shop, however, it does go to pucker butt. So I'm not, and pucker butt is referenced here as in distribution. So I'm really unclear what, if this is like a rebranding thing or what this is. So, this is the mild I'm holding. We've got water, vinegar, cider vinegar, honey, coconut oil, dark brown sugar, garlic, spices, garlic powder, celery salt, and chili powder. Now, I have understood that the chili that is in this is the red jalapeno. This one, obviously, it's a little bit more clear. So, and of course, these being wing thing sauces or wing sauces, I do, at the end of every quarter, I do an homage to the hot ones that I call wing things as well. And I've been doing that for the past few years. So will one of these sauces show up in that? I mean, possibly, maybe in 2025. Maybe even quarter 1, 2025, if I like either one of these. So basically the same formulation here. And I don't know if they do that so there's ease of labels. This, wow, what is going on with this label? Look at this. So look at the black stripe here. What are we doing here? This looks like possibly an error in the cutting from whoever did the labels for this. I don't know that he's making, maybe he's making them in-house. I'm not sure. Anyway, that aside, let's get into these wing things here and see just what we're talking about. Obviously, when I saw the name of these, I had to do them, you know, my series of quarterly, like I said, hot ones homages. I call wing things as well. And I would be shocked beyond belief. I mean, Ed's a busy guy. I'm pretty sure that he didn't take any any inspiration from little old me over here. But if he did, hey, you know, that's cool. I appreciate watching. And if not, and he comes across it someday, maybe, then I appreciate watching. Ed seems like to me one of those guys that we'd probably be buddies if we ever met. I just get that impression from him. Who knows? Perhaps one day the stars will all align. Okay, so this one seems slightly thicker, but that just might be a trick of my imagination. I can see the coloration differences here. This one is obviously not taking on any colors of the red because it's a Pepper X, and that's a sort of a mustard yellow color, and this is red jalapeno, to my understanding. So I dislike this, by the way. I do have a slight gripe as far as this goes, wherein I get that you might be tempted to do this for the ease of labels, but I really, really wish people would specify stuff more. Like, I just find that really frustrating when they don't. And To their credit, Pucker Bud has been really good about answering any question I sent to them about what might be in the products, at least to the best of their abilities. And I do appreciate that. But, you know, for me, from my perspective, I prefer it when I don't have to directly ask myself. So we'll do the usual thing here. We'll take some spoonfuls. Interesting. We'll take some spoonfuls, see how she flies. And then, you know, we're going to put it on some wings. Oh, look at this. Yeah, there's definitely oil in there because look, it's not, it definitely is not holding to the spoon. But so there is the Wing Thing Mild. And this is a pretty dramatic difference. Going from a red jalapeno to a Pepper X. That is a substantial jump. But that's, you know, it's, oh, it's just too thin. Yep, see? See? Interesting. This is very watery, this sauce. All right, so we're gonna put that there. Actually, let's put them together. We can do a little, hey now, do a little side-by-side action. Okay, so the one on the left, the darker redder one is the Wing Thing Mild, and on the right is the Wing Thing Pepper X. You can see there is a very, very dramatic color difference between the two. And I wouldn't say necessarily that one is better looking than the other. I think they both look fine. I personally like, for wing sauce, I like the redder hue is just, I prefer that. But, I mean, ultimately it doesn't matter. No. All right, so we're gonna spill. We're gonna start by spilling. Damn it. Hundreds of these videos with liquid and spoons. You think by now I could do this without dumping it everywhere? Anyway, let's give this a go. Little gritty, little grainy. Probably from the celery salt, if I had to guess. The vinegar with that coconut oil, very intriguing flavor prospect here. I'm not sure how much I like this one. It is interesting. But I mean, okay. Let's not read a bunch into that, because how fair is it, right? This is a product that's designed to go on wings, not to be eaten out of these really nice white plastic spoons that give you just a great white point. So, all right, this is the Pepper X. The Pepper X sauce. Oh, so heat-wise, this is probably, I would say, I'll give it a default 1. If it was a hot sauce, I would probably give it a 0. But I'm not judging these as hot sauces. So, all right, the Pepper X Wing Thing sauce. Well, it's much hotter. This one's a bit more fragrant. So you start, because it is a super hot, you start to shift away from some of the flavor balance of this one. This one is much more astringent, much more, I mean, fragrant is definitely the right word, but you start to lose some of the interplay, I think, where you can pick up some of the subtle hints of the coconut oil here in terms of flavor. That's mostly gone. This is just a very straightforward, super hot with, you know, there's some some light backgrounds of sweetness. And you do get, so the bittery stuff you still get tones of. So what do we got? We have garlic powder, and we've got the celery salt. So those are still kind of kicking around. I'm not sure what the other spices are in there. That is kind of vague. It's not vague. It's just not explicated at all. And you know, I go back and forth on the whole labeling thing. For me, because I prefer the more information as possible, I wish everything would be on the labels. That's just me. But I can understand where the FDA can only do things to a certain point. And, you know, that is, I think, one of the things that we are going to need to watch in the upcoming days and weeks and months ahead, to hopefully that does not get deteriorated, but I'm very nervous that it will be with the incoming regime. All right, so I've got, this is just odds and ends. So when I do the regular videos, I try to pick as often as I can wings that are the same size. And then I get left over with a whole bunch of these, like these little scrawny things. And then I get these gigantic things. So I'm actually, this is a twofold video. I'm testing a new wing brand, as well as just cleaning up something from the last go around. Let's see. I'll go with that. All right, so we're only doing you know, 2 baggies, so two of the quart bags here. We'll see how that does. I might need to put more of that in. In fact, I do need to put more of that in. We'll shake it up for now, get them a little coated. Then we'll whack a little bit more sauce in there. So, red jalapeno is just I mean, it's a pretty nice flavor. This is, I really like this because I can get really a good grasp, a really good sense of the flavors going on dynamically in this mild sauce, and much more so than the blast furnace here. So I didn't give this one a heat rating. I would put this at easily a 3. This one I kind of feel like is made more to be in chili head territory. This is, I mean, this is not a typical wing sauce though, that's for sure. This is a lot thinner though as well, so I might need less of this. We'll try that. We'll try that to start. When you're doing this, try to keep some air in there so you can give them some room to bounce around and just kind of get the liquid all over everything. Yeah, I think that was going to be plenty there. And I mean, there will be a little bit, you can see there's not a lot pooling on the bottom of this. And even though, you know, this sauce doesn't stick especially well to plastic due to that oil content. Let's take a look here. Oh, yeah, no, they're fine. Okay, pepper X wings and the red jalapeno. Well, so I'm going to go, because this one is definitely a lot more aggressive in terms of heat, and the flavor notes are accordingly somewhat, we do have some cancellation and overlap there, just because the pepper, even though it's the last ingredient, is hot enough and forward enough in the profile, flavor-wise, that it sort of overtakes things a bit. This is a much more bitter sort of version of this, I guess. So we're going to start with the red jalapeno. Interestingly, both of these are about the same level. Interesting. Huh, wacky. All right, let's start with the wing thing mild. So anyway, if I didn't say a heat number specifically for this, These are at least a 3. They might be more than that though. We'll see as we get into it. Let's start here with a drummy. I don't, you know, like I've said, as a rule, I don't eat a lot of wings. This one I wanted to do because, you know, the namesake of my series. The quarterly hot ones homage. Is it? It's like there's a weird sort of breading on this. I don't like. What is this? The odds and ends that you get are just so weird sometimes. What a mess. So, generally I try to get, for the wing things, a good mix of flats and drums, and also I want them to look good on camera. But I also want them to be about the same size. I want to be somewhat uniform. But these scraps is like they just throw them in the machine. I'm sure they're doing it by weight, but they just throw them in the machine. Often they've been mangled by whatever machinery they go through. So one thing I am getting out of this sauce that I wish I didn't is the apple cider vinegar notes. I am not a fan in the slightest of apple cider vinegar. I think most of the time what it's used in would be better if something different was used. I think that is absolutely the case with this. I don't know why you would need 2 vinegars either. This is an interesting way to go about a sauce, because the majority of it is, so we have, okay, coconut oil, we have the vinegars and water, and just a bunch of powders after that. I mean, it doesn't matter, I guess, if the end result is tasty. This one is not bad. But I don't see where I could use it for anything else. Honestly. Actually, if it's around by the time summer rolls around, I am going to marinate some stuff in this. Both of these, actually. Maybe I'll mix it together even. I am going to marinate some stuff for the grill. Because I think, I don't love this one on wings. The flavor profile, like I said, is not something I think I would find enjoyable in other settings. Which would probably have to be like a Louisiana style, because it's a very, very runny sauce. But I do think it might work okay on the grill. Back when, you know, I wanted to do this one, 2023, I think it was, or maybe it was 2022. One of those years I did a whole bunch of wing videos in a lead up for the Super Bowl that year. Now, I haven't watched really professional football to any extent for a very long time. But there was a time in my life when I watched it religiously. Like, that was my church on Sundays. I'd park my happy ass in front of a TV screen somewhere, sometimes a bar, where I'd start off the day with having Guinness for breakfast and just go right along. And sometimes at home, where I would not start off with Guinness, but something else. and still just keep right on trucking right along. And I went to a lot of football parties, tailgates, stuff like that. So I've had a lot of different approaches to wings. And where this one fits in, I think honestly it'd be kind of a, take it as sort of a point of curiosity. I mean, I've had every single sauce Buffalo Wild Wings has. Okay. Again, notably hotter. This is nowhere near, though, the, you know, like the hot one sauces. We're not talking last dab territory here at all. Nothing like that. It is punchy, though. Like I said, I don't think anybody outside Chili Heads is really going to enjoy it a lot. Flavor-wise, they are substantially different. This one, we lose a lot of the apple cider vinegar, thankfully. But like I said, it plays up the bitterness a whole lot more. So I don't know, maybe I'll mix them together. I don't know if no, maybe I'll throw them in the wing thing. We'll see. We'll see how many sauces I have when that time comes. Maybe I'll mix them together actually. Maybe that's what I'll do. Because I haven't done that in a wing thing. One of my wing things, not the sauce wing things. Oh man, what is this? Oh man, what a mess. What do we even... Oh man, this is another one brutalized by the machine, I see. Sometimes you don't always know of those until you... I feel like if I was served this particular wing in a restaurant, I'd probably throw it back. Okay, last one. Yeah, I mean, I'm getting a pretty decent burn though. It's not bad. It is, yeah, so I will give this one a 3 as far as heat goes. What? See, this one, all the bones are shattered again. I don't even know what this is supposed to be. Well, we'll just try to eat what we can out of it, I guess. Ugh. What even is this? Is a mess. It's all fat and skin. Oh man, what a mess. All the bones are, you know, when you come across ones where the bones are shattered inside, I gotta be careful with those. You probably just heard that, right? What a mess. Don't want to break my front teeth out. Okay, well, that, by the way, smartest trick you can do. Get yourself some gloves if you're gonna have a bunch of wings, especially if you're gonna have multiple ones like this, especially if they're gonna have any heat to them. You get nice, hot, sudsy water, because that's hopefully what you can do to get the soap under the oil on your skin. to get that off your skin. You don't want the capsaicin on your skin, because inevitably you'll do what I do. You'll touch your nose, you'll touch your eyes, you'll touch your sensitive bikini area, and you will quickly understand the error of your ways. So stick with gloves. That is absolutely the way to do it. Okay, so a breakdown here. This is more flavorful, but I think I like the flavor of this one better. This is notably hotter. It's not even close. Like this, the Pepper X one right here, much hotter than this one is. But that's about what you would expect. So this one goes allegedly 1 flame, and let's see, what do we have in the front? We have 6 flame. No, we have 5 flames. So that would be a 2 on my scale. It's definitely not a 2. I wouldn't even say it's a 1 if I'm judging hot sauces. Again, default 1. This one, they're giving a 6. So that would put it at 12 out of 10 on my heat scale, which is not anything that exists. This one, I will give a solid 3, but not more than that. 3 is, to me, the defining line of where I would say 3 and higher are absolutely chili heads only. 2 is kind of where the 2 to 3 range is where I think sometimes people will get tested if they're not super familiar with the chili head, if they're not chili head themselves. So now, saying that I like this one better overall, the question I think kind of becomes is do I like these? And I don't know that I would say necessarily that I do. I am super curious to see what they're like mixed together. I don't think they're bad per se. I think they're just more not necessarily what I like as far as sauces for a wing. And look, there is years of quarterly wing things where I go through a bunch of sauces that were on the Hot One show that I didn't expect to like, that I wind up liking. So I approach this with a super open mind always. And these just, for me, just are not it. But I do think putting these together into one sauce, where you get more of the flavor here, and then you get a sort of a cutting out of, hopefully, of the apple cider vinegar, as well as a bump in heat. I think combining these might be, and I'm surprised that there's not a sauce, actually, a middle range sauce that falls between mild and Pepper X. I'm surprised they're not marketing that, where it's just like a wing thing medium or something like that, that basically is these two sauces put together. Because I think that would actually be pretty good. Or at least it would sort of compensate for what I think each of these kind of has as far as weaknesses. But, I mean, they're interesting. So the Smokin' Ed's line is, I've done a couple other sauces in that line. I don't know if the reviews are going to be up for those by the time you see this. And the approach for the Smokin' Ed's branding, I think, is really kind of interesting. It definitely, like Pucker Butt is much more, you know, rip your face off with flames. This seems to be where he's kind of stretching his wings out a little bit and just trying different styles to just make sauces in just unusual formats and kind of see how it goes. And I always applaud that. Like I said, I'm a food adventurer, so that kind of stuff is right up my alley. And sometimes it doesn't always work. In this case, I would say it works to a incomplete, I guess, extent, where it partially works for me anyway. If you're someone who likes to have, you know, a Super Bowl party or something like that, and I'll post this in time for the Super Bowl in 2025. If you're someone who likes to host those kind of parties and stuff, and you like to have a wing tasting sort of adventure, I would say one or both of these would be well worth a look. They are, like I said, a lot thinner than a lot of the other sauces. I do really appreciate, though, the idea of coconut oil. I think that is actually a master stroke. That is brilliant. And I would have actually liked the flavor of this one considerably more had we not put apple cider vinegar in there. But again, that is just my own hobby horse. So, you know, obviously Smokin Ed didn't call me before he started making this, so. But yeah, that definitely was fun. I always get a kick out of kicking these around to kind of see how they fall. So and definitely I am looking forward to temperatures warming up enough to kick into grill season, so I can combine these two and then do some marinades of both pork and chicken with these, because I really think that is going to be, I think that's going to be a little something special, if I'm being honest. So look for both of these. I have decided now by this point, look for both of these coming up in the Q1 2025 Wing Thing video from me. And we'll see how it goes there. But for now, that's going to do it for this time. That was the Smokin Ed's Mild and Pepper X Wing Thing sauces. Now go forward in peace to serve the flame.